Today, we are checking out a brand new guitar. This is on loan from Paul Reed Smith Guitars. This is the new Mark Lettieri Fiore. It comes with a gig bag instead of a case. Just checking some stuff here. Got some stuff. I want to make sure I don't lose any of this stuff since it has to go back. Oh, I love the handle on this. I have the John Mayer Silver Sky. This seems nicer. It could be, I could be wrong. But this, I love this handle. I don't know how to explain this, man. It's like rubberized with steel. Feels good. Okay, so what do you get if you get the guitar? What's in the pouch? A bag with the tremolo arm, the Allen wrenches, the truss rod adjustment tool, a Paul Reed Smith sticker, which a Paul Reed Smith warranty card. I'm not going to open anything other than the tremolo arm because, again, like I said, it's going back. This is the hang tag. This was, it's got 10 gauge strings. It was made on the 21st of last month. So April 21st. Now we got to see the guitar. I don't even know what color it is. I have no information whatsoever. Oh, looking, smells like paint. Smells new. It's definitely got a new car kind of smell to it. It's kind of in the bag. Oh, all right. So, very nice. So now that I have it out of the box, I'm going to compare it to the John Mayer Silver Sky. I'm sure we'll see what they have in common and what they don't have in common. Let's get started with that. So starting with the bodies are basically Strat-like bodies, but they are different from each other. The Lettieri has this carve here that the John Mayer does not have. They both use this same bridge. The bridge is identical, the saddles, the plate, everything except for a 6-screw on the John Mayer and 2-screw or 2-post on the Lettieri. They use the same tremolo arm, but the John Mayer has a plastic tip and the Lettieri has a metal tip that is actual metal and heavy. Obviously the John Mayer has the front output jack, where the Lettieri has it on the side. Something else to point out on the guitars is the John Mayer is an alder body and the Fiore is a ash body. Both are 2-piece necks where they have a scarf joint. This is a maple neck with a maple headstock and then the scarf joint. They both are using Clouson style keys, although John Mayer uses these plastic end pieces, but other than that, the keys look identical. The other thing that's different is John Mayer had them invert the headstock, where the Lettieri is traditionally like how PRS normally has their headstock. Both are using the same kind of plate and neck carve, so again, you can tell they're using pretty much the same bodies. Lettieri has a back cover. John Mayer does not have any cover on the back of his tremolo. Now, the John Mayer has a dog tag style truss rod cover, which is different, where the Lettieri not only has the traditional truss rod cover, it has a flower that was designed by his mother. The Lettieri has a bone nut, just like the John Mayer, but it uses the traditional nut that you would see on a normal PRS guitar, where the John Mayer has the narrow nut that you would see on a Fender Stratocaster. Both are using locking keys. However, the John Mayer uses silver versus the traditional black screw tops that you see on all the other PRSs. The John Mayer has a 7 1/4 inch radius fretboard, where the Lettieri looks like it has the traditional 10-inch radius that you see on most PRSs. The John Mayer's first fret is 21.48 millimeters, and the Lettieri is 21.24 millimeters at the first fret. The John Mayer is 24.85 millimeters at the 12th fret, where the Lettieri is 24.33 millimeters at the 12th fret. Now, although they're close in the thicknesses, the shapes are different. The Lettieri is more like the Eric Johnson Strat, which is like a 50 style Strat neck. It doesn't seem to have a soft V shape, but it definitely has that soft V shape vibe. Now, in contrast, the John Mayer is more like the 62 Strat. You can see it's not as wide, it's not exact, but it's the closest I could find as a template. So it definitely has a 60s Strat vibe versus that more of a 50s shape vibe that the Lettieri has. Interestingly enough, both guitars are using the same fret wire, so that is going to be the same. Okay, so other things worth noting on the guitar is the frets were cut perfectly. There is no high spots and the fret sides are absolutely perfect. The nut was also cut flawlessly. When we come in, we want to use this as a gauge to check. Look at that, just seats in there perfectly. So again, the guitar fit and finished like we would expect a Paul Reed Smith guitar to be finished. The other thing that's important to notice is that the Fiore feels like a natural neck. It might be natural, or they may have shot nitrocellulose lacquer on it and then sanded that down. That's something else I know that PRS does with some of the maple necks like the John Mayers. But this could be natural. It feels very natural. And if it is got a little lacquer on it, it's a small amount, because when you kind of try to kind of see if it gets gummy when it gets warm. It's not feeling like that, where the John Mayer definitely feels like that. Now, something to note is that this guitar is nitrocellulose lacquer, but so is every PRS core guitar since about mid-2020 when they changed over. So PRS has changed over the entire catalog of the US core guitars are nitrocellulose lacquer. Now, it's important before I demo the guitar that we take notice to the fact that the action on the guitar came out of the box at 2 millimeters on the 12th fret and the low E, and 1.5 millimeters on the 12th fret to the high E. Also, the guitar came in at 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Now, things that are going to be definitely different with these two guitars is the pickups. Now, before I get into the explanation of what's different about the pickups, let's give you some readings. On the John Mayer, the bridge is at a 6.66, the middle pickup is at a 6.66, and the neck pickup is at a 6.67. The Fiore is at an 8.27 in the bridge, a 5.72 at the middle pickup, and 5.69 in the neck pickup. Something to note on these pickups is, of course, you have what looks like a standard humbucker right here. The single coils here remind me of the Brian May pickups in his guitar. Something to also pay attention to is the wiring on this guitar is way more involved than the John Mayer. So as you can see, we see the low friction volume pot that we pretty much see in every PRS. We do see a treble bleed, which is very common, a nice capacitor, 2 tone controls. However, what you will notice is both tone controls are push-pull pots, and we'll explain what they do. As you can see, they went a little bit more in depth in the wiring on this guitar. So it's volume, tone, tone, just like the John Mayer. And there's 2 push-pulls, one in the center and one on the back, or I guess, yeah, the back knob. The center one, what it does is if you're in the bridge position, you pull up, it activates the neck pickup. So you get kind of like that telly sound where the 2 single coils are spread apart, or the 2 pickups, I should say, are spread apart. If you're in the neck position and you pull up on that same switch, it does the same thing. It activates the bridge. So it basically, either way, if you have that up in these 2 positions, you have the telly sound. Okay, on the last pickup, I'm gonna see what it does. Okay, so perceptionally, seems like it's a coil split, but it's not because there's no hum whatsoever coming through the amp, and I'm pretty loud right now. So what's happening is it's a series parallel switch. So when you pull it up, you're gonna get that kind of spankier kind of versus the humbucker. For the clean sounds, I'm going to be using a Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb with a stock Jensen speaker into an Sm57 mic. So let's start with the bridge, and we'll pull up and we'll do that, the 2 outer pickups. Here we go, ready? That's really nice versus that humbucker. Okay, let's go to the neck pickup. I have that pushed down, so we are actually on the neck pickup. Here we go. Definitely interesting feeling guitar. We're gonna go back 1 position, and so we're on the middle and the neck position. Here we go. And of course, that middle pickup. Nice. Now, if you notice, I still have the clip-on tuner on the headstock. It's because I want to check the tremolo. Something else to note is that the John Mayer tremolo rests against the body. At least that's how mine's set up, and that's how I remember it came, but if it's different, I apologize for that. However, this is floating off the body. This is about 2 millimeters off the body, and so that is going to change how stable it stays in tune. Obviously, it's more susceptible to some tuning issues if the bridge can float. So let's go ahead and try the tremolo. Here we go, ready? Okay, a little dive bomb, here we go. Let's go ahead and check the John Mayer out, and we'll compare the sounds of the John Mayer. They are perceptually different if you A/B them. I'm pretty sure what you'll notice is the Fiore's pickups are just fuller and bigger sounding. The John Mayer's definitely got the Strat. It's got that jangle down, but the Fiore's got a little bit more fullness, and I'm sure it's just by design of those pickups, a little bigger notes, so to speak. More in the range of a P90, where there's just, it feels like there's a little bit more mids in those highs and definitely a little bit more push to those pickups and the way that they come across. And of course, on the bridge, they're going to be totally different, so there's no reason to compare it. I don't think anybody's going to expect the John Mayer single coil bridge to sound like that humbucker. But let's go ahead and try some overdrive sound. So what I have now is a Marshall 2061. It's like a plexi style amp, 20 watts, running into a 112 vintage 30 cabinet. And we're gonna go ahead and see what this humbucker can give us. Here we go. I love that. That pickup's great. Let's go ahead and use that series parallel switch. Yeah, see, now listen to that. You lose all that kind of beefiness. So here's your humbucker. Series parallel switch. But no 60-cycle hum. I like how they did this. That's pretty cool. And then, like I said, when you pull the middle switch, now you got that kind of telly kind of. That's great. Let's go to the neck pickup. Wow, and then let's go to that position, middle and neck. Okay, and here's the John Mayer neck. I mean, it's so different. It's not a better, for me, it's not a better or worse thing. It's just a different guitar. I was expecting them to be almost identical in the way they felt and played, other than having a humbucker here, maybe the radius of the fretboard being different. Playing them, they feel different. The necks feel different. The sound is different. They're different guitars. So it's not a question of, if you have the John Mayer and you sell it, could you get this guitar and get that with maybe a flatter radius fretboard and a humbucker? I think a lot of us were thinking that like that. I was definitely love the John Mayer Silver Sky, but would love it if it had a 10-inch radius and have a humbucker and the bridge. So to me, I was like, this is the guitar, but it's a different feeling guitar. This guitar feels more to me like the DC3. If you guys remember the PRS DC3, it's kind of what this guitar reminds me of. It's where the John Mayer kind of has that vibe. This definitely nailed the DC3. It reminds me of everything I liked about that guitar back in the day that PRS made. I hope that helps some of you, at least if you're thinking about getting this guitar, maybe some more additional information about it you didn't have before. As always, it's a pleasure to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, especially to the end of the video, because that supports the channel more than anything else. As always, thank you so much for your time. Till the next time, know your gear. Special shout out to Terry. Thank you so much, Terry, for supporting the channel by buying some merch and sending us this picture. I appreciate it very much. You are the viewer of the day.